Yeah, hello everyone, welcome back to the channel to all my excellencies. If you're new, welcome. Sammy here. Don't forget to subscribe, ding that notification bell so you don't miss a beat. In this lesson, we're going to be looking at drawing borders. Drawing borders. Now, occasionally you need to draw borders in your worksheet. The borders are drawn over the Excel grid lines. So, borders are actually drawn over the Excel grid line in the worksheet. The borders button is located in the font group and in the home tab. So, in the home tab and the font group, our borders button is here. The borders button is found here. So, normally, before you use the borders tool though, you need to make a selection. Now, when I click the borders button there, we can see 4 sections are available distinctly here. Borders, you see this first section, second section, the third section. Then we have the draw borders section. So let's start with these first 3 borders, and then we now go to the draw borders section. So when working within any of these first 2 sections, first of all, you need to make a selection. You need to make a selection before you can actually draw a border. So let's say, for example, I want to draw based on this selection. Let's take, for example, I make this selection and say I want it to have a border beneath here. So I come here, come back to my borders button, and I click on bottom border. So clicking on bottom border, that draws that border beneath that selection. It draws the border relative to the selection. So whatever selection you make, you can actually draw a border. Like if I come here now and I say I want top border on that selection, it actually applies the border top of that selection, just like you can see it here. Okay, so if I come back here, I say I want left or right. Okay, so relative to my selection, actually gives me that border. Now assuming I want to erase the borders I applied, say no border. No border. See now my borders have been erased. Coming back, so whether I make a selection or if it's a single cell, it draws the border relative to the selection based on whichever option I selected here. I also have the option to say, okay, I want all borders here. So clicking on all borders, this draws within the whole selection. It follows the grid within the whole selection. All borders. And then I also have this option. Let's just say go back to the border. If I come here and I say outside borders, okay, this situation, I see the difference now. All borders followed everything within that selection and traced the whole grid. But in this case, you see, just drew the selection, drew the border just on the periphery of that selection. Outside border. Now, also have other options. So let's say I don't want these default lines. I want it to be thick, a bit thicker. Become thick. Outside borders. Okay. Let's see how it's. See now it's thicker than how it was initially. So this first section, these first 3 sections, like we said, draws the borders relative to the selection. Okay, now I also have all the other options: bottom double border, thick bottom border, top and bottom border, top and thick bottom border, top and double bottom border. So if that is what I want, well, I can decide which is of them. Okay, so let's say I want top and double bottom border here now. So if I see top and double bottom border, okay, so top border is single and bottom border, you can see, is double. So like we said earlier on, these first three sections draws the borders relative to the selection. Now moving on to the draw borders section. In this situation now, it's a different ball game altogether. So it's a different ball game altogether, like I said earlier on. So when we are working with the draw borders, clicking draw borders changes the mouse pointer into a pencil. Okay, so we can use that pencil to draw borders using the selected line style and line color by dragging your mouse in your worksheet. When you are done, you can hit escape to stop drawing borders. Okay? So this time around, like I said, it's a different ball game altogether. So I come down to draw borders. Any of the options I select this time around actually gives me pencil, where I can actually draw the border myself. So I don't need to make a selection here. I can just draw the border directly. So preferably you want to come here before you actually click on that. You want to come and select the line color, line style, okay, and other options. So let's say border I want to be red. Okay, let me just go back here. I want to be red line color. Then I want to select a different line style. You can see there are different line styles. I can choose whichever one is more appropriate for me. So let's say instead of this continuous lines, I want these broken lines or these broken lines, or whichever option it be. Let's say I want this thick border, or whichever one that best suits your situation. So you can go ahead and select. So preferably before you start drawing, you can actually go and select those, the line color, the line style, then you can now go ahead to do your drawing. So you can see now this time around when I click, you can see, you can now actually draw it over that selection. I mean, I can actually draw it myself, not following the selection now. Okay. So let's say I just want to have, let's assume I have some work in my worksheet. Just follow the grid lines and apply those borders anywhere necessary. So draw it out following the grid lines. Okay, now you also have this option, draw border grid. Draw border grid. Okay, now when I clicked on draw border grid, you can see in addition to the pencil, you can see that within, just next to the pencil, you can see a small grid there. Let's see what happens when I use this option to actually draw my borders. So in the first instance, just follow the outline, but if I click on draw border grid now, it's going to follow the whole grid. Okay, you see the difference now? It follows the whole grid to actually draw the border. Follow the whole grid to actually draw the border. So that is the difference. And then in any situation, whenever I draw a border. If you have a pencil, of course, you should have an eraser. So I also have erase border button. Okay, let's assume I want to erase some portions. Click on eraser, then I can actually erase whichever portion I do not want. Okay, so I have my eraser, actually erase whichever portion I don't want, like so. Okay, so that is it. Okay, just drag your erase tool over the portion you want to erase. Eraser tool does its work. Erases our portion we do not want. As you drag it over the tool. Now there's this little tip that I can use to help us while working using borders. Yes. So let's look at it. Now let's assume I was using the draw borders button. Okay. If it is the draw borders button that is selected, pressing Ctrl actually switches between drawing a border and drawing a border grid. Okay, you can see it now. I press Ctrl between drawing a border grid. So let's assume I actually clicked on draw border. Then I later changed my mind. I want to actually draw a grid. So I don't need to just go back to my borders and then go back to draw border grid. You can do that anyway, but you can just simply switch by pressing Ctrl. Okay, so first instance is draws a border, and when I press down Ctrl, okay, pressing down Ctrl, see now gives me border grid. Okay, while you draw your border, hold the Shift key to temporarily switch to the erase border mode. So assuming I want to erase some portions, pressing down the Shift key actually switches to erase border. See it now? So let's assume I want to erase this portion. See? Holding the Shift key temporarily switches to the erase border mode. Okay, now I want to erase this portion. Like so. And so. Okay. Releasing the Shift key, I'm now back in my border mode, and I can continue drawing my borders as I so choose to. Okay, before I'm done, I hit Escape. Then that cancels the border button, border mode altogether. So this is how we can actually draw borders while working in Excel. Any questions? Let me know in the comment section. Don't forget to engage me in the comment section. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe. Please share so that this channel can grow, help us grow. Thank you very much. See you in the next lesson. And don't forget to always strive for excellence in all your endeavors. Thank you very much.